May 23rd, 2023. You guessed it, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Some of y'all may have been through what we're fixing to discuss. Some of you may not have no idea what I'm talking about. A lot of you subscribers know I've been having a lot of back issues for the past couple months. I've been back and forth doctors and doctors. Well, my personal doctor at the 1st of May here called me in, told me to come in. We was going to discuss my MRI and everything. He got to looking at it. This is after I'd went to a surgeon that said that they didn't see anything wrong with me, but yet they needed to extend my hardware, which really confused me, right? If you don't see nothing, why you want to extend hardware, right? They couldn't figure out what was causing the pain, is what they told me. I go to my personal doctor. We're sitting there and talking. I asked him, I said, is all this in my head? What's going on? Because I told him exactly word for word what happened to the other doctors. He said, no, you've got a very serious issue. You need to have surgery on your back. He said, it's all in your MRI report here. And he's reading it off. He's like, you need this fixed. I said, okay. He said, you're still taking your gabapentin? I said, yeah. I'm taking my sugar medicine, gabapentin. He said, well, I'm going to write you some strong pain medication. I'm going to write you some Percocet 10 milligrams. I said, okay. Well, he wrote it, got them filled. He told me to take this medication around the clock. And I'm like, okay, it must be really bad, right? Well, I get it filled. 2 weeks later, I get a call to come down, bring my medication that I'm taking, and to come to the office. That's all they would say. They wouldn't say nothing else. So I'm thinking maybe I've got an issue, they're wanting to see my medicine or something. They bring me in, they count my medicine, tell me to pee in a cup. I pee in a cup, don't hear nothing. This is last week. I didn't hear nothing back from them. Now the medication is Percocet 10, and it's wrote to take every 4 to 6 hours. So I was taking approximately 5 a day is what I was taking from the time I got them prescribed till I went to drug test. I never hear back from the doctor. Well, today I get on, this patient portal, you can get on there and you can like request stuff or ask to see the doctor. Where I was wanting to find out why I hadn't heard from UAB, because they were sending in my paperwork to UAB, which is a huge hospital in Birmingham, and I couldn't get through it. It kept acting like I wasn't a patient. So my girlfriend calls down there, and after going back and forth a little bit, they had kicked me out of seeing the doctor. The doctor kicked me out. He said that I had no pain medication in my system. Now, the story here gets a little more interesting. This isn't the first time this has happened. When I got hurt several years ago, they had me in pain management, right? What's it called? Workman's Comp had me in pain management and all that. Well, I tested negative over there for it. I'm like, something's not right here. So we had a lawyer involved in this. He asked me, he said, the next time they call you in for a drug test, I want you to go to this place and give a sample. So we do that, and it showed up on that sample. But when I got to pain management, it didn't show up again, right? Well, then go to my doctor. At that time, the one that died a couple years ago, he was treating my pain management after all my surgeries. And it kept not showing up in my urine. And one of the nurses got mad one day when he wrote my refill. He said, I'm going to show you something. He asked me, he said, do you have your medication with you? I said, yes, sir. I brought it in so y'all can count it. In front of her and in front of him, he said, I want you to take your medicine. I took my medicine. He said, now, can you go sit in the lobby for about 2.5 hours? I was like, man. He said, just please do it. And I went and sat in the lobby. And I sat there, drank bottled water or whatever. And about 2 hours, 2.5 hours later, he comes out and he says, can you give me another urine sample? I said, yeah. I gave him another urine sample, and it tested negative right there on the spot. So we couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, now this doctor, I'm having the same issue. I take my medication. I don't like having to take it, but I do take it. I'm taking, like I said, an average of 5 a day, which I was afraid I'd get in trouble. Honestly, I told my girlfriend, I said, they'll probably get mad because I'm taking, 5 a day. But it didn't show up in my urine, and I'm confused on why this is happening. I don't understand it. But the thing that's really upsetting me is that my personal doctor didn't call me or nothing. He did nothing. They claim they sent a letter out. I never got a letter. And it just kicked me out of seeing me as a patient. Didn't call me and say we need to come in and talk or nothing. This is why I don't trust doctors. I've told y'all about this before. It's not about, I'm still diabetic. What am I supposed to do about my diabetes, right? Right? What are you supposed to do about that? And back and forth today on the phone with them, arguing with them. You know, like, I'm taking my medicine. Well, it don't matter. It's not in your urine, this or that. You know, we're kicking you out. When you agreed to be a new patient, it's automatic that it's in the paperwork, that which it wasn't. I was not in pain management. The doctor just wrote it to try to help me get through the month, right? It's not something I've been on for months and months and months. But the issue here is the UAB deal. We call UAB, and they tell us we don't have a referral for you. You've got to get a referral from your doctor. Now, the doctor's office on May 2nd supposedly sent all this referral in. So we call the doctor's office back, and they say, we sent it in, but we'll send it in again. Well, then they called back and said, no, you need to do paperwork down there before we can send it in. So I just told them, I'm done with it. Number one, why does a doctor, I would have figured if we was having issues like that not showing up, they would call you in and be like, we need to come in and talk about this, This is why I don't trust doctors at all. I take my medicine. I don't like taking it, but I take my medicine every day, but yet it doesn't show up in my urine. How is that possible? The only way I could think of it being possible is the drugstore, the medicine I'm getting filled at the drugstore doesn't have the medicine in it. It's a placebo pill. Or the drug test is wrong, right? How does it not show up? This has happened several times on me here. Over the years. Not recently, but over the years. I don't understand this. And it's got me, and now you know what's happened. I'm flagged. They have flagged me because my doctor kicked me out, right? You're now a flagged patient, which means you won't ever see another doctor again. It's hard to find a doctor. But if any of y'all know how this is happening, could you please tell me how it is not showing up in a urine test? The day I went down there and peed in the cup, I took one that morning. And 3 hours later, I was at the doctor's office. How is this happening? The issue I'm having with it is now I'm flagged. I've been kicked out of my doctor's, supposedly for not taking my medication. This is why I don't trust doctors, guys. I told you I'm done with them. I'm done with them. And plus they're lying about sending in my referrals to UAB to a surgeon. What are you supposed to do nowadays? I mean, really, what do they expect you to do? You do everything they tell you, and then they still call you a liar. Guys, if you could help me out here and tell me how this is happening on a urine test, I would really enjoy it. Because, this doctor's even refusing for me to come down there and see him and try to figure anything out of what's going on and why it's doing that. I'm still a diabetic. What are we going to do about that? You got to find another doctor. But once you're flagged, you can't get another doctor. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's opioid epidemic crap that you got people out here on medicine that don't need it. And you can physically look at my stuff, my MRIs, and, well, yeah, this guy might need a little something, It's the ones that get it that don't really need it's the problem. So, I don't know what to tell you about this. But if y'all could help me figure out how it's not showing up in my urine, I would be glad if I would stand right here, take one in front of you and pee in a cup and show you that it doesn't show up. The only time it has ever showed up was that one time my lawyer sent me to a different place to get it before we went to the pain management doctor. I don't know what's going on. I do not. It's confusing me. It's pissing me off because now my doctors, what are they thinking I'm doing with my medicine? I don't understand. You take your medicine every day, the way they tell you, but yet it's not showing up in your system. Guys, y'all need to help me out on this one. How is this happening? How is it not showing up in my urine? How is it not showing up? I drink approximately 10 bottles of water a day, So the regular water bottles, these sizes, I drink about 10 of them a day. So I'm reaching out for y'all for some help here because this has got me a little pissed off because I've never been kicked out of a doctor's before, and now I'm flagged. They told me you're now a flagged patient. So this is why I don't trust doctors. This is why I quit going to doctors. This is why, I hate to say it, but sometimes you just got to let things be, right? Let it run its course and do what it's going to do. My girlfriend's mad at me because I told her, I said, I'm done. I'm not going to keep doing this with doctors. I'm not going to be called a liar. But she's like, I see you take your medicine. I know you take your medicine. She even called down there and told him, he takes his damn medicine. How's this happening? But, Sometimes you just gotta let things run its course, right? I'm scared to death that eventually I'm not gonna be able to walk, and plus with all the issues in my stomach from that they're telling me is from my spine that's controlling my bowels and my bladder and all that, eventually it's just going to get worse. I'm 46 years old now. You know what? Maybe 10 more years. You know, I've had a good 46 years, is the way I look at it. But I would prefer to live to be 70 or 80, wouldn't you? But I mean, sometimes you just gotta let it run its course. And that's where I'm at right now, because you finally let your stubbornness go, and you go to the doctor and you reach out for some help. You tell them what's going on, and you think they're there for you. You think this doctor might actually care, and you find out they don't. It makes you not want to trust doctors no more. Guys, could you please explain to me how it is not showing up in urine tests? I do not understand this. I don't. It's Percocet 10 milligrams. They're not showing, and I take 5 a day. That's what, 50 milligrams a day. And like I said, I was afraid they were going to call me and tell me I had too much in my system, but yet it didn't show up. And the doctor never called me or nothing. We figured it out because I got online trying to figure out what was going on with the UAB stuff. Guys, help me out on this one. If you've got any idea how this is not showing up, could you please tell me? I know this doesn't have much to do with prepping, but I'm reaching out to y'all for some help here. I don't understand what's going on. I hate doctors, right? Stay safe, get prepped up. Keep your head on a swivel, be aware of your surroundings at all times, protect yourself and your family at all times. If you're still watching, hit that subscribe button, but more importantly, could you please comment and explain to me how this is happening? How 50 milligrams a day for essentially 14 days did not show up in a urine test? And this is a urine test they sent off. They didn't test it right there in the office. Stay safe, get prepped.